Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And welcome to the Global Virtual Summit 2025, Anthony. And before starting your session, I want to introduce you to our audience.
Thank you.
Anthony Berry is an author, international speaker, and a certified coach specializing in neuro linguistic programming and timeline coaching. Over the years, he has supported individuals from all walks of life in recognizing stress patterns, shifting mindsets, and making lasting changes. His work focuses on helping women create their own compelling future blueprint to find peace, purpose, and avoid burnout. Through tools, training, and personal practice, empowers clients to set boundaries without guilt that lead to transformative results rooted in clarity and self-awareness. That was an interesting bio, Anthony, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Sorry I can't be with you. I was there with you guys in Paris. It was a great event. I'm sure you're going to have a great time. I'm going to run through some slides about the 5 biggest mistakes professional women make trying to balance their work-life balance. Oops. By the end of the presentation, you don't just manage stress, you master it. You go into meetings empowered, no longer fearing about brain fog or memory lapses. You set boundaries without guilt. You understand structures designed to focus your energy, not to constrain you. By budgeting your energy and your use, and you're able to sustain peak performance in delivering services to your patients and make quick decisions that affect people's lives. You protect your space and your ambition. You're no more constantly overthinking, second guessing, or feeling like you're just surviving a day. You're not just having Groundhog Day, having the same day, day after day. Instead, you're focused, present, aligned with a life that feels like yours again. Issues to be addressed, something which has become more apparent to my clients because they're getting older, experiencing perimenopausal symptoms like brain fog, memory lapses, poor sleep, hot flushes. Now, although I can't relate to any of those physically, I as part of being diabetic, I've experienced brain fog before I got my blood sugar down properly. So I know what brain fog is about. And as we get older, we all experience memory lapses. Sleep deprivation, both your role and hormone disruption, which increases memory lapses and decision making in care planning decisions. Chronic stress, high cortisol levels are wearing you down physically and mentally, resulting in increased time off work, reduced ability to provide high quality care or decision making. You'll discover the real reason burnout keeps coming back, even when you try to rest, and how to 10x your decision making, patient service, improve mental clarity, relying on HRT, supplements, or willpower. Now, I have to make a disclaimer: I'm not a medical doctor. I'm only talking about from a lifestyle or mindset point of view. Anything to do with medication, that's between you and your doctor. I'm not relating to that part of the issue, just mindset and lifestyle. You learn how to cut through brain fog, think with precision, and unleash your hidden energy. You set boundaries without feeling guilty. And this will be done without overcomplicating process. I'm sure you've all got enough policies and procedures that you have to follow. You have no more noise, just clarity. Feeling weak or being judged. We all have our moments where we need someone to help us. We can't all be strong all the time. Support without shame. And you won't be given strategies that don't work. These are things that have worked. Vague affirmations or impractical advice. Just a little bit about my background. I'm not sure how many of you have been in a situation where you could change something in an organization. I worked for the local authority at one time where they were very bad at relating to people, black and learners, black people and Asian people in different communities. They used to call them hard to reach. Well, I had no problem reaching them. So it wasn't the organizations that were hard to reach. The organization didn't have good, effective ways. So I got a proposal, which I put in front of the 7 managers who were very much against the idea. But I had a clear vision. I knew why their ways of working weren't effective. And I managed to overcome their resistance. The work was nationally recognized as good practice. The same manager who had to try to block the project had to ask to present the work to the top 100 managers. I was asked to lead a project when I was working for a charity. I challenged the charity to improve services to Black and Asian people because it wasn't very good with learning disabilities. To their credit, they went and got some funding, and then lo and behold, they gave me the project to run. The only problem was I had very little to no knowledge of running services with learners. I was assistant finance director. But I knew about this planning tool called PATH, which helps you create a shared vision and who you need to bring on board to make that vision come true. I'm an international speaker and author, qualified neurolinguistic programmer, timeline coach, stress reduction coach for professional women in health and care sector. Now, one of the questions I'm sometimes asked, and I did address it when I spoke in Paris, is why do I work with women? Let me give 2 examples in here. Last time I talked about my chief exec, but this time I'll give 2 other examples. In the first example, when I helped deliver services, consultation process that were more effective consulting Black and Asian communities, that project would have failed unless a woman had helped me. It was her boss that was against it. I managed to persuade her with the vision that I had and the passion I had to help me, and she went against her boss. I didn't even know the woman. She went against her boss, and she was instrumental in running focus groups, which I didn't know how to run properly, but she did. And she went to more meetings than I did. In the project with people with learning disabilities, as I said, I didn't know anything about running services with people with learning disabilities, but I struck up a strategic alliance with a woman who did. My strength was finance. That was her weakness. My weakness was running a service with people with learning disabilities. So we just helped each other in that areas of weakness. And without her, that project would have failed. I could give many more examples, but just 2 examples of why I choose to work with women. A quick testimonial. A good friend of mine, Angelina, she had run her business for about a year, but for various reasons, she hadn't got around to doing the admin. She was very stressed about the backlog and knew if she didn't do it, she wouldn't be able to complete her tax return. However, she was dreading the idea of doing the backlog. She was in a no-win situation. So what we did was I did an exercise to help her see the task being fulfilled in the future and experience that joy now. That alone is not enough. So I gave her some exercises, short exercises, quick exercises to do in the morning to command her day, to set her thoughts before events set them for her. And I knew she did this on a regular basis, she'd feel better. So I encouraged her to include this in her daily ritual, which over time she did, and she started to feel the benefit. Her stress levels went down, her cognitive ability went up, and she was able to find solutions that were always there, but she just couldn't think about them because she was so stressed, to get rid of the backlog quickly and easily. Who is this presentation for? You crave simple, clear tools you can actually apply between shifts in precious moments of free time, not a 20-step plan that you'll never finish. These are things you can do in your breaks, when you're traveling, very short things. You need a space where you can be fully honest without fear of being seen as incapable or colleagues, or by colleagues or supervisors. I know some of the women are telling me they're going to go into meet, they dread going there because if they have another memory lapse, they just see people just losing confidence in them. You need coaching that delivers practical, fast working strategies, ways to calm the mind, sharpen my focus, stay grounded in high pressure situations where a patient's lives are at stake. For example, I spoke about this at the last time I spoke, is the 3 steps from happiness to happiness. But basically, if you master this technique, you can change your mindset in 7 seconds. You could be stuck in traffic and getting frustrated because you're now late for an appointment, or you could have a dispute with some member of the family. You can change your mindset in 7 seconds. It's just one of the tools that I use. This presentation is not for you if you're looking for a quick fix. Nothing happens overnight. You need to apply different habits. Your habits determine your future. You're not open to change in how you approach stress. Well, if you're not open to change, then you can ask yourself, is change going to happen? You believe burnout is just part of the job, you don't see a way out. Well, that might be the culture you're in, and you'll have to make a decision about that, but there's always a way through burnout, which you can manage yourself. And just a quick example about you are not your thoughts. I had in 2017 I had an out-of-body experience where I was struggling with pneumonia. I was coughing persistently. For every 2 minutes I was coughing. And at the meal table, someone made a joke. And I realized I couldn't laugh, cough, and chew at the same time. So the food got stuck in my throat. I had an experience where I was conscious level was above my head. And I was looking down at myself, coughing, asking myself, who's this person coughing? Seconds later, I collapsed backstage on the coffee table. The pain jolted my mind back into my body. The experience confirmed to me that we are not our thoughts. That moment shaped part of what I teach in the 3-step process from happiness to happiness. Now, the 5 mistakes professional women make trying to balance their work life without knowing it. Lack of boundaries. Because they feel needed, they believe they have to be there for everyone. They are too easily accessible. Maybe you're the rock that keeps the family together, or the business together, or the service together. You just feel that you have to be there for everybody. You prefer to be flexible. You respond to demands on your time from family and friends at work. You struggle to create goals for your priority for yourself. So I'm not valuing your most precious asset. No one else respects your time. Nobody respects anything you get too easily. You have to put a price on it, restrictions on it. Otherwise, you hear many mothers saying that children don't value what you do for them because you do give it away too easily. Nobody respects anything you give away too easily. They're not meant for more, but they lack the confidence to dream. Going from grown-ups to given up, stuck in the role of helping everyone else fulfill their dreams. All of us as children had great imagination. Maybe you want to be a scientist or a doctor or a lawyer or a millionaire, run a big business. But then life happens and we start to rationalize why you can't have it. And you give up. You just say, this can't happen, my age, my gender, my job, whatever. You find excuses not to go for it. But every day you wake up is a new day. Every day you wake up is a chance to go for your dreams. You're on the edge of burnout because of the constant stress of responding to other people's demands. If you're constantly responding, that is probably the most stressful position you can be in. You lack focus and purpose because you can be high achievers, but still feel unfulfilled. If you're running in the wrong direction, you may have high achievement, but you haven't achieved a purpose because you haven't gone in the right direction. Now, why service levels don't work and how to build change from the inside out. Now, in NLP, we have what's called disempowering thoughts and empowering thoughts. The first 4 in the next 4 slides will be what we call disempowering thoughts. And if you hold any of these thoughts, I just ask you to breathe deeply and bear with me. And the 2 are what we would call more empowering ways of looking at it. Now, this is just how life is now. You may be in a situation where everyone is working a certain way and you just fit into that culture. Everyone else needs to handle it. I must be the problem. Are they really handling it? I made my choice. It's too late to change now. As long as you wake up, it's always a new day, always a time to change. If I want something more, I'm being selfish. Is that true? I can honor my responsibility and still honor myself. If you're taking care of yourself, would it be in terms of your skills, your body, or your mindset? Do you think you're in a better position to look after other people? It's never too late to create the life I want. Even if you devoted 10 minutes a day, better still half an hour a day. That could make radical changes to your life. You don't have to make all day, just consistently, 10 minutes a day, watch a video, read a few books, pages in a book. It can make a radical difference to your life. Now I'm going to invite you to take a piece of paper and write a circle on it, draw a circle on it, and put yourself in the circle. You can draw your face, stick figure, or just write you. Now that circle represents your comfort zone. Nothing meaningful gets fulfilled in your comfort zone. And one of the main reasons why people don't have their goals met is that they're trying to achieve them and still stay comfortable. It's just not going to work. You have to get outside your comfort zone. And once you move outside your comfort zone, so if you draw yourself now outside the circle, It will feel uncomfortable at first. You may question yourself. You may have doubts. But if you draw yourself again inside the circle, you see a larger sphere of comfort. And every time you break through your comfort zone and do things that initially feel uncomfortable until they become comfortable, your brain will be taught it is okay to go outside my comfort zone, and you'll stop beating up all kind of doubts and fears, and you'll be able to do it easier, and you'll be able to achieve more. How to master focus and eliminate noise, fear, brain fog, or memory lapses. If I lose my train of thought, everyone will question my ability. My brain fog is out of my control. Yes, this is something which women have mentioned to me when they're going to meetings. They kind of fear having that memory lapse, and practitioners in the meeting or their boss start losing faith in them. Stress is unavoidable in this job. It's just horrendous. There are more stress inducers now than there ever has been. There are tools you can use to manage stress. The 7 steps is one that I've got, and I also got a stress budget you can use. There are techniques to manage stress. If I slow down to focus, I'll fall behind. Is that true? Is productivity and effort the same? I can train my brain to work for me, not against me, without medication. Stillness is not weakness. It's where powerful ideas and aligned decisions are made. If you spend 10 minutes on a regular basis just quietly shutting out everything in your mind, you'll be amazed what ideas will come to you. Always good to have a paper and pen next to you when you do that. May not happen initially, but I gave an example like this last time I spoke about the silent stillness techniques last time. So I'm going to think about the reticular activating part of the brain. The brain can actually receive about 2 million bits of information every second. But if we were to have those 2 billion bits of information, we'd go crazy. So what the brain has is like an editor. It's called the reticular activating part. So you have to program it as to what you think is important. So you may be, for example, looking to buy a red dress. And your brain would then bring attention to all the people that are already there, but you didn't notice that wearing red dress. Or you might want to buy a blue car, and suddenly everybody around you that's got a blue car, you suddenly notice it. So when you go into a meeting, fearing brain fog or memory lapses, that's a dangerous thing to do, because you're actually making that more likely, because you're telling your brain to focus on that. So it's more likely to happen. Far better to use memory aids, whether it be electronic or paper, to write key points that you want to make, or key points so you can tick them off as you go along, so you don't repeat them in a meeting, because you know you already made a log and you tick them off. There are different techniques you can follow. How to reduce burnout and provide excellent patient care. My patients come first. I can't afford to take a break. Well, how far can you keep doing that if you don't take a break? You presumably work in this team, and the team is going to be more important than the person. So is that really true? Rest is for people who can't handle pressure. But do you know what impact is happening on their life by not taking a rest? The work will pile up when I rest. So what happens when you go on a holiday? What happens when you're not on shift? What happens if you're sick? Taking care of myself feels selfish. Other people need me more. Yes, there has to be a balance. By protecting my energy, I protect patient safety and well-being. If you are taking care of yourself, you're more likely to give a higher standard of care to your clients and your patients. Sustainable care starts with taking care of yourself first. With mindset, body, your career, improving your knowledge. And if I relate your body to like a car needs fuel. Body needs food and water. A car needs to be maintained, otherwise it breaks down. Your body needs to be maintained, otherwise eventually it will break down. And hopefully it won't be something serious like a stroke, but it will break down if you don't listen to it. It will get your attention, come what may. Partly why I got pneumonia was because I didn't listen to it after working 18-hour days for a long time. Eventually my body said, look, I need to get your attention. So it knocked me out for 4 months. you need direction. When you go into your car, you can't just say, take me to XYZ. It'll say, where's the postcard? What's the address? Same with yourself. If you're going day to day without direction, destination, purpose, priorities, goals, you're going aimlessly from one day to another without focus on what is it you're trying to achieve. And that's down to your vision. The Bible says, without a vision, my people perish. High achievement women can set boundaries without guilt and breathe again. If I say no, I'll let people down. We don't say no all the time, but there might be sometimes you have to say no because they value you more when they know they can't freely access you. But sometimes you need to say no to protect yourself. Good caregivers are always available. Is that true? Boundaries make me seem difficult or uncooperative. There's too much to do. I can't slow down. Boundaries protect my ability to serve at my highest level. If you're at a more effective thinking ability, are you like to give better care? Are you like to give better decisions? Would your patients like to know you've done a 100-hour shift without rest? Would they feel comfortable knowing you haven't rested? Or would they prefer to know you've taken adequate breaks, refreshed yourself, and you're at the peak of your condition to serve them and make the right decision quickly? Saying no to what drains me is saying yes to what matters to me. You have to take priority for yourself. And I know lots of women, as they get older, cannot physically do the same as they were doing before, and they feel very guilty about it. But I just say do less, and they look at me as if I'm strange. I said, but physically, if you can't do it, then do less. Now, during this presentation, we looked at why service levels don't work, service goals don't work, and how to build change from the inside out. How to reduce burnout, provide excellent patient care, how to master and eliminate the noise, fear, and brain fog or memory lapses, and high achieving women can set boundaries without feeling guilty and breathe again. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes and just imagine waking up, experiencing your dream life. How does it feel? Can you feel a sense of peace and joy? Who is present in the dream life? What sounds can you hear? What colors can you see? What food can you smell cooking? Imagine experiencing that feeling every day using a simple exercise that I've got. Imagine being fulfilled in your life. Imagine every day living a life with purpose rather than just someone else's vision. That's the end of the presentation. My name is Anthony Berry, stress reduction coach. There are my details there. Hopefully you scan that QR code, you get my LinkedIn contacts. Thank you very much for your time today.
Yes, so, Anthony, thank you so much for your valuable time. Really appreciated. You have passed great information. And we have a few questions from our audience, Anthony. I want to ask you one of them. How do NLP and timeline coaching empower women?
Well, the timeline coaching, what it does, it helps you to see an event in the future that you want to achieve. Maybe it's a meeting you're going to and you want to present and you've got some concerns about meeting it. What it gets you to do, it envisions that event happening successfully. And then you work backwards of what did you do to make that event happen successfully now. It's about changing your mind from the fear of it to it happening positively.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer. And we have few more questions. We will post it to your email. You can respond there.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.